Thing I don't do. I'm the type of person, I'm a team player. So if God was in a situation and I feel like somebody feels trying to take his life, you damn right I'm around.
Verdict in the Hernandez-Govan trial. In case you missed it, that verdict came out roughly around 10:45 this morning, and it was not guilty on both counts. Hernandez-Govan was accused of being the mastermind in the death of rapper Young Dolph. He is now a free man, free to go after 2 not guilty verdicts.
Hey man, I'ma keep this G, bro. Dolph, you a soft ass nigga, you nice nigga. If you got a problem, you got a problem. Shut ass nigga, ain't no motherfucking king of me if you ain't king.
The streets were buzzing again. And this time the whispers weren't whispers anymore. They were loud, sharp, and dangerous. Yo Gotti and Blac Youngsta, 2 names already surrounded by controversy, were suddenly back in the headlines. But it wasn't about music or charts or another flashy video. It was about something deeper, something darker, something tied to a name that still makes Memphis stop in silence: Young Dolph. Ever since that tragic day when Dolph's life was taken in broad daylight, fans, family, and the community have been demanding justice. Years have passed, and while arrests have been made, the wound still feels fresh. The city still aches. The fans still rage. And the streets still talk. For many, the name Yo Gotti can never be mentioned without Dolph's shadow looming right behind it. And when you add Blac Youngsta into the picture, the one who seemed to take pleasure in mocking Dolph while he was alive, the fire only burns hotter. What makes this story explosive is that even now, after everything, the tension between Gotti, Youngsta, and Dolph's legacy hasn't gone away. In fact, it's boiling over. And the world just got another taste of how deadly this feud might really be. To understand how we got here, you have to go back. Back before the Instagram lives, before the arrests, before the headlines screamed tragedy. Back to when young Dolph was alive, building his empire from the ground up. Dolph was more than just a rapper to Memphis. He was a symbol of independence. He refused to bow down to major labels, choosing instead to invest in himself, his family, and his paper route empire. He gave back to his city, he talked about ownership, and he stood tall in an industry built on snakes. But when you rise that high, when you shine that bright, enemies will always appear. For Dolph, one of those enemies was Yo Gotti. At least, that's what the streets believed. Rumors swirled that their issues ran deep. That jealousy, competition, and Memphis pride clashed in ways too big to ignore. What started as whispers of beef turned into real public shots, diss records, and eventually, violence. Blac Youngsta entered the picture as Gotti's soldier, his right-hand man ready to ride for him at any cost. Youngsta wasn't just another artist under Gotti's CMG label. He was loud, he was bold, and he wasn't afraid to cross lines. When Dolph survived a hail of bullets in his SUV in Charlotte, whispers linked the incident to Youngsta. Even though charges were eventually dropped, the streets never forgot. And when Youngsta dropped diss tracks, mocking Dolph and his near-death experiences, fans knew this was no longer just music, it was war. Fast forward to today, and the pain of Dolph's loss is still raw. His death wasn't just another headline, it was a gut punch to the city of Memphis and to hip-hop as a whole. People cried in the streets, murals went up overnight, and fans around the world demanded answers. Arrests were made, yes, but many still believe the full truth hasn't been told. Many believe that the ones who celebrated Dolph's downfall are still out here, walking free, making money, and acting like nothing ever happened. And that's why the streets are demanding justice. Justice not just in the courtroom, but justice in the culture. Justice in the way people are remembered. Justice in making sure Dolph's name doesn't get buried under lies and disrespect. Recently, things took a darker turn when Blac Youngsta started popping up again with posts that fans saw as thinly veiled shots. Whether it was in his lyrics or cryptic messages online, people felt like he was taunting Dolph's legacy, reopening wounds that hadn't even had time to heal. And Yo Gotti? He's kept mostly silent, moving carefully, but silence can speak louder than words. Every move he makes is watched. Every performance. Every verse. Every business deal. The streets see it all, and they don't forget. One viral clip showed crowds chanting Dolph's name during a Yo Gotti performance, drowning out his music with shouts of loyalty to the fallen rapper. That moment went viral, and the message was clear. No matter how big Gotti gets, no matter how powerful CMG becomes, Dolph's presence will always haunt them. And then came the breaking point. Reports of shootings linked to the ongoing beef started circulating. Nobody could confirm if they were directly tied to Gotti or Youngsta, but the timing, the locations, and the rumors were enough to send fans into overdrive. Social media exploded with claims that this feud had gone from music to bloodshed once again. People weren't just arguing about diss tracks anymore. They were talking about funerals. The most chilling part? For many in Memphis, this doesn't feel like rap beef. It feels like a cycle of revenge, a war with no end in sight. One life was already taken, and the fear is that more could follow. Parents are scared. Fans are scared. Even other rappers are speaking out, warning that what's happening in Memphis could spiral out of control. For Yo Gotti, the pressure is unbearable. His empire is growing. Artists like Moneybagg Yo, Glorilla, and ESTG are putting CMG on top, but the shadow of Dolph won't go away. People question his silence. They question his loyalty. They question his legacy. No matter how much success he has, that one name follows him everywhere: Young Dolph. Blac Youngsta, on the other hand, seems almost addicted to the chaos. His brash persona keeps the flames alive, but it's also putting him in danger. Fans call him reckless, saying he doesn't understand the weight of the pain he's caused. Whether he's posting cryptic laughing emojis or dropping lyrics that fans interpret as digs at Dolph, Youngsta has made himself the villain in this story, and he doesn't seem to care. But here's the thing about villains: they don't always get the last laugh. Because the streets are speaking louder now. Fans, locals, and even people far outside of Memphis are demanding justice. They're calling for accountability. They're calling for peace. They're calling for Dolph's name to be respected. Hashtags flood timelines. Murals are guarded like shrines. His music is played louder than ever, not just as entertainment, but as resistance. The emotional weight of this story can't be overstated. Young Dolph left behind a family, children who will grow up without their father, and fans who feel like they lost a brother. For them, seeing Gotti and Youngsta still thriving, still smiling, still moving like kings, it feels like a slap in the face. It feels like the scales of justice are broken. Every time Yo Gotti goes live, the comment section turns into a war zone. Justice for Dolph. Where's the accountability? And worse, every move he makes is under the microscope. And Blac Youngsta? The moment he drops a new video, the dislikes rain down like a storm, and the comments? Brutal. Fans aren't just watching anymore. They're judging, accusing, and demanding answers. The internet has become the new courtroom, and the streets are the jury. Rumors are flying faster than bullets in Memphis. Some insiders say Gotti is backing away, trying to quietly separate himself from the chaos surrounding Youngsta. No more shoutouts. No more joint appearances. Just silence and space. Others claim it's all smoke and mirrors, that CMG is solid, unshakable, loyal to the core. That no matter what the streets say, they'll ride together until the end. But something's off. The energy is different. The unity? Cracking. You can see it in the body language. Hear it in the music. Feel it in the silence. Fans aren't blind, and neither is the industry. Everyone's watching. Everyone's whispering. Because this ain't just about rap beef anymore. It's about something much deeper. It's about loyalty, betrayal, power, and blood. Real blood. Young Dolph's death didn't just break hearts, it broke trust. And in a game where image is everything, that kind of crack is dangerous. Empires don't fall overnight, but they start with moments like this, when the foundation begins to rot from within. And let's be honest, Dolph's name has become more than a memory. It's a movement. His face is painted on murals. His lyrics live in playlists. His energy, still alive in the city that raised him. The streets haven't moved on. They haven't forgotten. And they damn sure haven't forgiven. So now, the question haunts every headline, every tweet, every corner store conversation. Will there ever be real justice for Young Dolph? Or will his murder just become another cold case buried beneath fame, fear, and silence? Because here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. Money fades. Fame dies. Labels collapse. But legacy? Legacy is bulletproof. And Dolph's legacy? It's louder than ever. Louder than CMG. Louder than the silence. Louder than the lies. Yo Gotti and Blac Youngsta can drop all the music they want. But the streets don't want music right now. They want justice. They want closure. They want blood. And the next chapter in the story? It might be the most dangerous one yet.